What's good, everybody? DL Short. So, I was watching Breaking Points. You guys know Breaking Points is one of my favorite YouTube channels, content creators. Like they're doing their thing with the news. It's independent news. I like what they're doing mostly. Um, Sager has a segment which talks about Trump rewriting his convention speech to focus on unity. Uh, let me let's check this out.
All right, let's shift gears now to the RNC. We're learning some interesting news just this morning in a new interview that Donald Trump gave to the Washington Examiner. Let's go ahead and put this up there on the screen. This was an interview given to Selena Zito. You guys may remember her. She was really gained fame in 2016 for covering Trump rallies. She actually was present at Butler, Pennsylvania, and has an interesting interview here with the former president, who is rewriting his convention speech, quote, to focus on unity, not Biden. So I'm going to read a little bit from the interview, just because it is very Trumpian in its speech. Quote, he says, "The speech that I was going to give on Thursday was going to be a humdinger," he said. "Had this not happened, this would have been one of the most incredible speeches," he says, aimed, though, mostly at the policies of Joe Biden. "Honestly, it's going to be a whole different speech now," he says. He has switched from planning to excite his voter base to one that demonstrates his belief that the attack on him at a rally had changed the election and campaign entirely. Most Republicans and Democrats have now acknowledged that in the aftermath. Trump said people across the country from different walks of life and political views have called him and noted that he was safe from death because he turned from the crowd to look at a screen showing data was using, quote, "That reality is setting in. I rarely look away from a crowd. Had I not done that in that moment, well, we would not be talking today, would we?" Talking as he boarded his plane, Trump then continued, saying his speech will meet the moment that history demands. "It is a chance to bring the countries together. I was given that chance." And he said, "God alone prevented the unthinkable from happening." And he said, "Fear not." And again, he continued to invoke God for his deliverance. He says, "This is a chance to bring the whole country, even the whole world together. The speech will be a lot different." They asked him a little bit more about some of the events. He hailed Corey Contempore, the former fire chief who was shot and killed at the Trump rally. Trump said that his decision to raise his hand when the Secret Service was leading him off the stage was to let people know that he was okay and that America goes on, we go forward, and we are strong. Of the photograph, he said he believed it was an iconic image. He said that when he stood up and he saw the crowd had not moved, he needed to tell them that he and the country were going to be okay. The energy coming from the people in that moment, they stood there. It's hard to describe what it felt like, but I knew that the world was looking. I knew that history would judge this, and I knew I had to let them know that we were okay. And so that's very.
So I think that's very telling. I think that's the right move politically. It sounds as if he's listening to his advisors. Do I believe that Trump is now going to be a unifier? Do I believe that Trump is now going to put America's issues and come up with a platform that is going to set a course for a country that's going to lead us to some sort of prosperity? I mean, I'm sure that's what he wants to do, but is he going to do it? Do I believe that, Trump is serious? I mean, I don't. I do believe it is the perfect move. If I were him, I would do the same thing. And if he can maintain that, let's say that he does have a very toned down, unifying type theme to his speech, and he can maintain that through press conferences and through different sound bites and through his Truth Social or X or wherever he's posting. If he can maintain that until November, I think the Democrats have a problem. The question is, can he do it? And just, I do believe in change. We know who Donald Trump is. You can research his entire, arc, going back to the beginning. Is it possible that someone can go through an event like this, like being, literally centimeters away from losing your life, and that will definitely profoundly change the way you see the world. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yes, that's possible. Do I believe in change? Yes, but I understand how difficult it is to achieve true change, meaningful change. It takes a lot of work. Am I saying that Donald Trump can't do it? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just curious to see if he does. But as far as politics goes, this is the move. This is the move. Just no more, bombastic talk. No more nicknames. No more Sleepy Joe. No more lock 'em up. No more Make America Great Again. If he comes away for that, maybe come up with it. This will be the opportunity to roll out a new slogan. Let's right the ship, or let's course correct, or USA for everyone, something like that. Like if they come up with a new slogan and he rolls it out during this speech, I think that would be a brilliant move. And all he has to do at that point is maintain that new persona until November. If he does that, that might win over enough of those people in the middle that could get him across the line, and he will be the next president of the United States, in my opinion. Like I said, it's about 45% of people who rock with Donald Trump and will always rock with Donald Trump. It's about 45% of people out there who don't rock with Donald Trump and will never, under any circumstances, vote for him. Right? That's 90% of the country. And that gives you that 10% in between. Now the numbers may be off slightly or whatever. This is me just making up numbers here, but I just want to get across the point. You have two groups of people entrenched, you know, in their decision, and then you have maybe 10% or a small minority of people who can be swayed one way or the other. So if Trump manages to do that, if he comes off with this unifying message and continues that message on until November with no hiccups and no craziness, and if he actually starts to think about policy and coming up with a platform, no matter what that platform is, if he does that, yeah, the Democrats might have a problem. So that's my take on that, man. You guys let me know what you think. Put some comments down below. Um, I'll say this, man. I'm glad I'm glad that round missed him. I'm glad that he was lucky. I'm glad that we did not lose a former president. I am glad, but again, I'm I'm not with Donald Trump's politics. I'm one of those people in the 45% that won't vote for him no matter what. It just not who I think should be running the country. But I don't think Joe Biden should be running the country either. So the choices we have to make are between who's out there. Right now is Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and then, a few others. But we don't really have a third party. I wish we did right now more than ever. So that's my take on that, man. I'll talk to y'all later. I'm DL Saint. Peace.